They said years ago that 48205, they renamed it 482 Die. That is what they called us in one of our local news medias, because they said more shootings and more deaths happened in this area than in most of the country. My dad was the first African-American male to purchase a house in the neighborhood on Glenwood Street. And I just remember coming up in this city, living down by French Road and Gratiot area, how we used to love to come here because it was just so beautiful and so clean and diverse in terms of its population. I would literally walk around the corner and meet my friend Chelsea, who lived in the upper unit of that place. Unfortunately, Chelsea, her family experienced tragedy as her father was killed, and they moved out of the city. So it was a walkable community, jobs definitely present, housing was great in this area. Over the years, you begin to kind of see the neighborhood going down. The unfortunate epidemic of the crack cocaine era.
Drugs played a great part in the area. So I had a guy who lived 2 doors from me, and they had been there for years with my family, as long as my family had been there, but it got so bad on the block, they moved. So a lot of people were not able to withstand.
And just violence began to kind of take over the area. And so now it's nothing to go down to one particular city block and to not see any home.
I believe the mortgage crisis played a major role in really bringing down the neighborhood. Communities like Osborne really suffered because this community was very known for having teachers, a lot of the policemen. 6 months later, 4 or 5 homes are abandoned or missing door. I know there's been times when people say, well, just leave the last person, turn the lights off. But we never really talked about residents that say, you know what, I'm going to stay here through thick and thin.
I chose to stay in Osborne because of the simple fact I became an ownership of my own home. And for me to be a ownership, that was the proudest moment of my life.
I have a 2-family. My aunt lives downstairs, and they've lived in the house since '77. So when they moved there, of course, it was a totally different era, and you saw different things. You saw it come up, you saw it go down.
In my neighborhood, like the vacant houses next to me, I cut the grass, keep it clean, so people won't be scared to walk the block. On the left-hand side, the house has been abandoned for over 15 years. I cut the grass, move the trash, I keep it clean. Because if I clean the vacant houses, my house even look better. Make the community look even cleaner.
One day I was outside and I ran into Quincy Jones, and he really talked to me about what he had going on and what they were trying to put together. And he just looked me straight in my eyes and said, don't move. It's worth it. So it always stuck in my head, and and every word that he said is coming to pass.
I met Quincy when I was working with Build On back in 2012, 2013, and we collaborated first on cleanup efforts around the Osborne neighborhood. From there, he asked me to serve on his board for the Osborne Neighborhood Alliance. Osborne Neighborhood Alliance is really passionate about is being able to present opportunities for future growth and access to those opportunities to residents and Detroiters. And so this is a prime example of what that looks like.
My name is Quincy Jones, and I am the Executive Director for Osborne Neighborhood Alliance, which is a community-based organization located on the northeast side of Detroit. I lived in New York for years. I bought a multifamily, and I rented out to a tenant that was paying the mortgage. And I said, well, the concept works. And we have a lot of multifamilies that are here in the city. We did a massive cleanup, boarded up 1,000 doors, windows, and just cleaned up the neighborhood. After we cleaned up the neighborhood, the residents was like, this doesn't look bad. We're really excited about living here, just with the board ups. And then people ask, what's next? And I said, well, let's start looking at doing development right here on Mapleridge. And so our first rehab project was just at 13700 Mapleridge.
We did not want to sell a house just to a family. We wanted to create a wealth building strategy where a moderate income family will become an occupied landlord.
When you have someone living in a duplex that they own, they're not only getting the regular appreciation of any house owner, but they're also getting rent from a second unit by providing that service to somebody else to give them affordable housing in a rental unit. They're getting major assistance in paying their own mortgage, which makes it easier for them to save up on money they'd otherwise be spending on rent that they just never see again.
We work closely with the Matrix Center for individuals to take homeowner courses. The homeowners will be taking classes and workshops on the steps on being a landlord, how to do your deductions at the end of the year, creating this lease, and just providing them with all of the tools to be this successful landlord and homeowner. Rents from the affordable unit will cover up to 90% of the expenses of the home. This was the start of the Mapleridge housing project. The residents make the neighborhood good. And so this project is about inspiration. This project is about take control of your neighborhood and not wait on someone else to come in. I think a lot of times in the city of Detroit, in particular, Black neighborhoods, especially when resources is pulled out, it gets a bad perception, right? About you have to leave in order to be successful. And that's not the case. This project is saying we want people to come here, live here, grow here, and let's take back our neighborhood. So now we're in the home that will be renovated. We just cleared out all the debris, right? And so you're seeing what the home looks like before we come in and make this a home for a family. Once this is done, homeowner will buy the whole unit, right? And we're selling it for $110 for the home build.
Right.
The homeowner will rent out the second unit to a Section 8 tenant, making it very affordable. Because you know right now there's a shortage of affordable rentals, quality rentals in the city of Detroit.
I think the misnomer is that affordable housing means low-income housing. It doesn't. This is also about building our middle class. And so helping to give a step up or a stool up to help a young family build generational wealth. And so what you have are duplexes being sold to a homeowner, a young family, and then you have an income-generating business that's basically turnkey that's also sold. So now I'm able to live almost, if not rent-free, build equity, have this turnkey business, which is the tenant that comes along with that property. And if I'm doing the right thing, I'll have them on Section 8, so that income is guaranteed. And now I'm building equity in my home business. I'm living rent-free. I'm providing housing for somebody. And this is all being done in our neighborhood on Mapleridge with a great park across the street. We have a great human resource center right around the corner. At the Matrix Center, we have a city library around the corner. So all these great institutions and amenities right here in the neighborhood. And I become a homeowner and I build generational wealth by having a piece of the American pie through a house that generates revenue. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Our goal was not to get someone to move in and 2 years later, 3 years later, move out. Getting long-term residents that see the vision and they really want to rebuild and be a part of this growth that is happening in our neighborhoods. We could not have got any of this project off the ground without key partners.
Well, we've been working formally with the Osborne neighborhood on the Strategic Neighborhood Fund for 5 years. I call the Osborne neighborhood home because we have a financial center that's located right in that neighborhood. Fifth Third committed to investing $5 million over a 5-year period into that neighborhood where we focus on home ownership. It was our job to work with the community intimately, along with the community partners in the neighborhood, to make sure that we brought those things to fruition. Everybody deserves a piece of the American dream, and for many people, that is an opportunity of having home ownership. Home ownership is so important because it gives the opportunity for African Americans to create wealth and legacy for their families, and that's something that has really been denied for many of us for many years, and this is an opportunity to do that. What I'm super excited about, we have a passion for this community in donating that $5 million over a 5-year period. That has inspired some of our peers and other philanthropists to give an additional $13 million for a total of $18 million to date. And not only have we influenced here locally, Fifth Third has a 10-state footprint where Detroit was the pilot for that program, and it's called Empowering Black Futures. And it's doing exactly what the name says, is we are investing tons of money into different neighborhoods that are in the low to moderate income community, helping Black families be able to create wealth and legacy throughout our 10-state footprint.
The project took about 4 months for each home.
We are moving along, man, with the speed of lightning. Right now, all of the homes has passed an inspection for the rough plumbing and rough electrical. We got roofs on all 3 homes, windows, block windows, and we're getting ready to do drywall right now. The homes will be done by April the 1st and move-in ready within the month of April. We got several individuals that are eager to get the homes. 2 of the homes right now have been sold, and the families will be moving in. A lot of individuals tend to think because I'm not at a certain income, I cannot become a homeowner. And this project really made this a reality for 3 people to become homeowners in the city of Detroit. Congratulations.
Welcome to my beautiful home here in the neighborhood Osborne Alliance community. This is my living room. This is the space where me and my family gather. I selected this couch because I'm an auntie and we like to watch movies. So I'll take you into my living room. This is my kitchen where I have granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, new refrigerator, new stove, dishwasher, which is this kitchen is mostly used by my mother and my sister because they're the better cooks. And they're the ones that prepare the food and bring it into this beautiful dining room, where these are my babies. This is my fully renovated bathroom. The granite in the shower, top to bottom. We have 3 bedrooms. I have 3 bedrooms. However, one is currently under construction. This is my guest bedroom. And this is my main bedroom. I was indecisive about my dream home and what that would look like, but I also knew that I was tired of renting. So when the opportunity came available through the Osborne Neighborhood Alliance for me to not only build generational wealth, but to make one of my dreams come true, I took advantage of it as soon as I could.
I always dreamed of being a homeowner. What attracted me most about this home was the fact that there was a redevelopment going on in the neighborhood. So I knew that the future of the neighborhood would be better. Owning a duplex was really nice in the fact that I can offer affordable living situation for somebody else, and also become a pillar in the community to show what's possible when you allow people like myself who grew up in the community to do ownership and make an impact.
Now that I'm in the home and I'm an official homeowner, it's very pleasurable. Pleasurable to have somewhere to, when you pull up, you can open that door and turn that key. The door is gonna open, you can go in, you got running hot water, you have heat, you have electricity. We work together to keep the block and the neighborhood nice. It can actually be a successful thing.
With all of the great significant investment that is happening in the Osborne community, we know for a fact that this is just the beginning of growth, of excitement, of families moving in the Osborne community. So we're very proud of the work that we're doing, and we're ready to reach the stars to make sure that people know that the Osborne community is a community that you want to live, work, and play.